So, you know, by that time I was already sort of thinking about college, but didn't have any firm plans. And I knew I wanted to study economics, so a lot of what I did at Tallgrass was, you know, sort of directed in that one way or another. As far as like more concrete aims, you know, I came up with, or I guess what, my mom came up with the idea of going to a community college as a good sort of stepping stone to a four-year university. And so I actually ended up taking economics class at the local community college at night while I was at Tallgrass. So that was a good way of sort of, you know, getting a taste of what taking a college course was like while, you know, still being here.
While I was here, I didn't study anything. I hung out with my friends pretty much all day, every day, played video games. I don't think I had studied once while I was here. I had maybe attended.
You slept a lot.
I slept a lot. I maybe did a total of like, I don't know, 6 hours of academics throughout the time I was here, maybe. And when I thought about it, yeah, I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified to move to college. I had no idea what it was like. I'd heard from friends how school was like, and I had no idea. But I ended up starting at Joliet Junior College, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Like, I kind of decided, so I was taking classes, but at this point, since Sudbury is such a small community, moving away from that, I ended up getting a lot of friends at college, and I focused a little too much on that initially, and ended up stopping for a little bit just because I still wasn't prepared completely with what I wanted to do. I wasn't sure, so I stopped, and I ended up going back for a little while, and I don't know what else to say.
How did you get to nursing?
I got to nursing because I've been a martial arts coach for, I want to say 9 years now. Currently I teach gymnastics, parkour, free running, and martial arts. And because I've been working with people so long, that's one thing that I really love to do. So I mean, I kind of translated that into nursing. You're working with people a lot, and in this way you're actually really helping them. So that's kind of the way that I transitioned from being a coach into the nursing field, I suppose.
Well, while I was at Tallgrass, I did a lot of stuff outside because I was the oldest student all 3 years. I mean, other than Will, yeah.
And
but
Lou.
after...
Lou.
Oh, yeah, duh. But after you guys left, though... Except for all the other ones. But after you guys left and we moved to this location, I remember being like, oh, okay, like, this means, like, real world is coming. But even, like, the first year I started, I think I was also taking classes at community college. But it wasn't because I wanted to prepare for college. I was just taking, like, theater classes because they sounded cool. And I knew that, like, not everybody at Tallgrass was on the same page with wanting to, like, immerse themselves in theater. So that's what I did. And, yeah, I mean, I think being a student at any non-traditional school, especially something like Sudbury, as much as you believe in the model, there are always people on the outside second-guessing you, and I think that was my biggest struggle. Because, I mean, while I was still a student here, I was, you know, like, speaking at, you know, Q&A things or whatever, and giving my experience and talking about how much I love Tallgrass, and I think it has really benefited me. But it's always hard when you leave, and then people are like, well, what are you going to do when you graduate? Like, are you really learning anything? And so I think it really causes you to second-guess yourself. So I think that was probably one of my biggest challenges. So when I graduated, I stayed at the community college, but at that point I was like, I had so many credits, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll take these gen ed so I can get an associate's, might as well. But it wasn't something where I was like, oh, I gotta get my degree and prove myself. And by my second year of like where I would be like a sophomore age, my first semester I was taking like a history class, and I was like, oh, you know, like I'm actually kind of interested in these subjects I didn't think I was into. And I started thinking about like where I wanted to go. I was really interested in visual arts at the time, and I wanted to go to University of Illinois. and focus in ceramics. And then I realized, like, wait a second, like, doing this as a career might suck the joy out of it for me. So, like, let me think about some other things. And so I was looking at liberal arts colleges, and then I found the university that I'm currently at, and I was like, whoa, this is totally in line with what I want to do. Like, it's a university that's founded on global citizenship and, like, contributing to the world, and I was like, yeah.
So I've always really been interested in food and nutrition in a lot of different ways, and so I don't know, I think at Tallgrass I actually did a lot of art projects, and I listened to a lot of audiobooks, some of which included food and nutrition books, but definitely not all of them. And I did a little bit of academic stuff at Tallgrass also. I did some math and not a whole lot, I guess, but I did have some pressure to feel like, oh, I think I want to go to college, I don't know. And I think that pressure definitely contributed to me being like, I just feel like I don't even really need to go to college, I'm just going to do something else. So I went to culinary school, and when I finished my high school years, I guess, because I didn't graduate because I was also just there for about 2 years. So I went to culinary school, and it was a holistic culinary school, and I loved it, but I really, really loved the nutrition classes that went along with the culinary school. And the closer and closer I got to finishing, I was like, I really don't want to be a chef. And like, because you either work in a kitchen or you are a personal chef, and none of that really sounded that great. So then I moved back home and started going to community college, which I'd done a little bit kind of in there around my senior year. I'd taken a couple classes, and that, I guess, is one of the biggest things that I would recommend to people that did alternative schools to go to community college and start off taking like one class, because learning how to take a test and like learning how to write a paper are like these kind of big learning curves, and for me like really anxiety provoking learning curves that I went through, but then you learn that it's actually not really that hard, but you have to actually just do it. So having that kind of helped. So I went back to community college, just started accumulating some credits, still kind of being like, well, I'm interested in nutrition, but I'm just not really sure what I want to do. I want to do something with health, something, and then I was like, okay, whatever, I'm just going to major in nutrition. I'm just going to do it. And I think for me personally, there was definitely some like personal like self-doubt of like, I have to take a year of chemistry classes, and I have to take more math classes. And so I ended up applying to UIC into the school out in Seattle, and I got into both of them, and I chose to go to Seattle, and it ended up being really good. It's like, I think a lot of the things personally for me that held me back, which I think comes from what Cassie was saying about hearing other people being like, oh, but you never did this like we did, and you never did this. You're like, oh no, I'm gonna just be so bad at this, and then I loved my chemistry classes so much. I got an A in statistics, like just things like that. It ended up being fine. So yeah. And so then here I am today, and I'm really into these kind of academic things that I think I was kind of scared of and prepared for a little bit, but not a whole lot. No, I did not prepare for them a whole lot.